Okay, y'all, I'm getting ready to do a little bit of Gran Turismo Sport. Well, that's what it's called. I really want that new one, but the two games I've got to get is the new WWE and the Gran Turismo. Wrestling and racing and Resident Evil was usually what, I bought a lot of games, but that was usually what I played. Wrestling, Resident Evil, Gran Turismo. And with the Xbox generation, it has been Fallout, GTA. Oh, and Duke Nukem, of course. Duke Nukem's been both generations. But my Sony years was usually wrestling and Gran Turismo. Oh, I got to add Mortal Kombat in there too with the Xbox. But I really discovered Mortal Kombat before the X. Got that little. I had never actually played it till I bought in 2014. I ordered one of those Atari things from the General Dialer. I seen them. Actually, my daddy, he used to watch the Grand Ole Opry. And they had this segment where the Dollar General would sponsor them. I thought, well, they were advertising their website, and they happened to be turned it on for him. And I thought, I'll go look at that, and I saw the Atari system and the little Sega. You know, they were the AT games. Atari, whatever it's called. Atari Flashback 5. I can see the box behind me there, back there. And that was the first time I ever played Mortal Kombat. That was the Christmas of 2014. That was the last year he was alive for Christmas, because he died in August of 15. Anyway, I'm going to... I can hear my mother in the background, but I'm glad to hear her. She was in the hospital for days. Hospital. You know, you hear all those nightmares of the sickness and people going to the hospital and not coming home. I just kept praying. Let's see. I don't know if I want to do that one or not. That's why I would have probably had to die to ended up in one. It's not funny. I might not be so pig-headed now that I've seen her come home. If I were to, by chance, I'm going to try to stay as far away from it as I can. Do the best I can anyway. So several nights I thought I was having it real bad. My chest was doing funny things. I kept just praying. I got over it next day. I don't like all my car choices I have. Guess I'll go with the Roadster. I don't like that I can't have a purple one. And this you can't even have a blue one. I guess it didn't come in blue. We'll go with the red one. And I'm going to go with intermediate tonight. Tonight's going to be racing only because when I switch to the Xbox, I'm putting the fires back on my S. I had to install it. So it downloaded all day. Right now I'm having to move. Games to fit. It has to be on the either a SD or the hard drive. It can't play from this term. Oh, I didn't ever log in my thing. Hold on, let me. I guess I'll just have to wait this race. Yeah, Mortal Kombat I discovered by, if I hadn't have been listening to that, setting my daddy's radio and heard that General Dollar ad, I probably would have never got that. Because I grew up knowing what both Sega and Atari was, but I didn't have neither one of them. I had the first brother-in-law, he used to bring his Atari over to the house. And I forgot which model he had. Pretty sure it was a 2600, but I don't remember. He might have had more than one, I don't know. He always bought almost pretty much what he wanted. He had a Camaro, a blue Camaro. All I have is my little Pac-Man machine when I was a kid. You know, the little Midway, the one that had the two little handles on it. It had a LED screen. You can find YouTube videos on them. They had Frogger and Space Invaders. Something else. I don't remember what the other one was. Oh, Donkey Kong. It was number 3. That was the game player I had as a kid. I didn't ever get into Sega and Genesis. By that age, that's when I was getting into rock and roll, y'all. And those started coming up. It was my last few years of G.I. Joe and Transformers. And then I went from toys to rock and roll. I still like toys too, by the way. I didn't get into the gaming thing till I decided to buy the Sony PlayStation. I like gaming, I didn't get them. You know. Of course, I found out years later when my daddy wouldn't buy them. He thought this technology was of the beast. He really did. He told me on the swing one time. He said, "Did you realize in the 1980s or early 90s I could have brought home a computer for $450? But I turned it down." He told me that. They were going to let me have it for $450, and I turned it down. I didn't want that in my house. He told me that. He worried about that being the beast. He thought this computer stuff was of the beast. I knew he would never like me playing video games. I mean, he'd let me play them, you know, like we was at the mall or the store, but he didn't ever really like it. I didn't know to that very day, and this was a little bit before he died. I'd say it had to be pre-2013 because it was on the old porch. So somewhere between 2008 and 2013. He told me one day, he said, "I could have had that computer for $450. $350, $450, somewhere around there. I didn't want to bring it in my home. I was thinking, damn you, I always wanted a computer. They wouldn't ever let us touch it at school. Them hogs. They'd always, like when they let you use the computer room, they put 2 kids to a desk. Well, anybody I ever sat with, they always hogged the computer up. I never did even get to touch the computer. Them hogs would hog it up over and over. Let me get this. See what I sound. Testing what this. I'm farther away from the controller, so. Yeah, them hot. Yeah, I was mad at him when he told me that. I was mad because we'd had our own computer at home. I'm thinking he's more. I think he said 80s, but I think he meant 90s. Because that was when he was working. Where he was working. Might have been the 80s. I mean, if it was his other place before he went into the convenience stores. He used to do the vending machines. Let's see. I'll go back to this track. Let's see. We'll find another track. Let's see if there's any of this. Any I hadn't already done yet? I don't even remember how many. That one ain't. That one ain't. That one's not available to me. Let's see here. I think I have done that one before. I might have just done it. I don't have night in this one? I guess not. Oh, the desk. The other night's going to be racing. Something about them fires though too. We'll see. I was going to try to do some missions last night in the GTA, and I had to rest most of the day, but that's okay. I'm feeling 100% better since I did rest all day. Then I'm starting to feel normal. Break right through them. You know what I'd like to see? Now that I talk about a knockoff, I probably won't ever see it. Modern Day Road Rash 3D. I bought a couple of knockoff games of it was like it. Of course, you can't stream the music anyway, so nothing's ever the same. I'd have to play it offline. That's the only thing I hate about these newer PlayStations, like 4 and 5. I can't get out my freaking PS1. People can say, well, just get out the one. Yeah, you can do that. But it seems better when you can just get your games out and just put it in the same console you're playing. I mean, unless I'm playing on Xbox. And then course, there is one good thing. You can play them on the 3. And the 3 you can hook up similar to like you hook these up through the HMDI. The HMDI card that you plug to your computer. It's a little more complicated on the PS2. So I have to use that little adapter thing, and that little adapter thing has to have its power source as well. When you're like me, you're out of power spots. With these systems I've got, I'm pretty much, I don't have room for power sources. And I can plug it on the actual PS2, but every once in a while it starts flashing. I don't have enough to put use to power. Yeah, I had to use the RCA to HMDI converter. I don't know what number I'm going to be this time. I miss the music. Of course, I'm not really crazy about today's music anyway, so I probably wouldn't care for it if I could hear it. I'm telling you, I live under a rock when it comes to music. Probably the newest thing that I took up with was Weekend. I like some of his stuff. Weekend. I love Starboy. It was one of my favorite songs. I'm a motherfucking Starboy. Got a check mark. I was number 1. I didn't know how I was doing. I'm a motherfucking Starboy. I'm in the old rap too, like Snoop, Dre, NWA. By the way, before you know it, if they haven't passed away, every single rock star that lived in the 80s or the 90s will have those accusations. You know, just like Marilyn Manson, now Snoop Dogg. Have you noticed that? It's coming, y'all. You rock stars just better get ready. You better already have your attorneys stepping back and waiting, because it's coming. Before you know it, every single one of y'all are going to be going down the line just like that. Marilyn Manson. Now they're even talking about old guy after he's dead. You know, the old Playboy guy? I mean, everybody knew he was a creep. You know, if he was alive, they'd be dragging him to court. They'd be dragging his old ass in court. I'm telling you. It started with Harvey Sleaze, which he really was a sleazeball. But I'm telling you, rock stars, they're coming after every one of you. You better get ready. Rap too. Be ready for it. They're coming. That Me Too movement's coming. And it's coming for every man out there. That's their go. Because you know, rock and roll and groupies, that's been a big part. I mean, even Elvis had his freaking groupies. That's always been a part of it. I'm going to stand with Snoop Dogg. I stand with Snoop Dogg just like I stand with Marilyn Manson. don't care who likes it. I think it's a bunch of crap myself. I really do. And every one of them things casted themselves on what you call the casting couch. Now, whether they should have been doing it or not, or offering it, no, they probably shouldn't have. The point of it is, they submitted to it. They could have walked away. They had stars and moolah in their eyes. They sowed their sows, and now they want somebody to blame besides themselves for spreading them on the couch. Instead of having integrity and saying no, they decided, well, I'll just go do it. Now all of a sudden they want somebody to blame. And you gotta look in the mirror. Look in the mirror, baby, next time you want. I better not say that was a Madonna song. Just look in the mirror. Which one was that? It's on the right again. I think she was talking to Warren Beatty on that song. Next time you want, push that, just look in the mirror. They just want somebody to blame for their bad behavior. And if they get mad at me saying that, I don't care. That's what it was. Still saying, oh boy, I was an idiot. That's what I do when I mess up. Now I know my mess ups are little compared to some people's. One was getting in debt. But I can't blame nobody but myself. I'm not going and asking the government to pay me out. That's another thing. They decide they want to go to school. I want my free education. I want my debt paid. Well, you shouldn't win. You didn't have the money, you shouldn't win. I want my debt paid. That money ain't free. Why do you think you can't afford stuff right now? Inflation. Inflation. Even though I've been on my benefits for years, I've tried to take as little as possible. I don't get all the freebies. I didn't get no free Obama phones. No food stamps. Probably could have used food stamps at times. Don't have the food card, it's the food card now. But that benefits was earned. Every bit of it, my family earned that. Right now I'm on my daddy and he worked his ass off. Nobody worked harder than my daddy or my mom while she worked. She had to retire early. All them freebies cost. They're not free. Nobody rides free. Nobody rides free. Alex Jones plays it every once in a while. Info was that kind. And as Dr. Savage always writes in his books, there's no free lunches. We've been seeing liberalism as a mental disorder come to life these past few years. Stuff he wrote in 2005. It's literally coming alive. And I'm talking politics, so I'm going to shut up. I don't like that on my stream. I'm dying to do a podcast. I ain't felt like doing them. I will say. Nobody rides free. See, I'm semi-conservative. But I believe in things should be there if you need it. But they shouldn't be wasted and just given to just anybody. In other words, they should only be there if you need it. I'm not completely like one of them old conservatives that just do away with all of it. I heard, I believe it was a son-in-law this week riding the Howard Brown. He was talking about how the church, that used to be, I mean, if you go read the book of Acts, they kept what they had. In other words, they could have their stuff, but if they had anything like extra houses or stuff, they sold those extra houses and distributed amongst the people that couldn't. That's how the ones that dropped dead got in trouble. They got greedy, and they decided to steal and keep a portion of the money for themselves. They lied to the Holy Spirit, so they dropped dead. Ananias, what was her name? So I don't know. But anyway, it's a couple. It's a man and a woman that's married. Can't think of their names right now. You know me with names. They lied to the Holy Ghost and they dropped dead because they got greedy. They wanted to keep some of that money for themselves. That moolah. See, that's why them girls laid down on the casting couch. They wanted the moolah. That's also why they chase the rock stars. They think they have money. You let you be a man that they don't think you got any money, they want nothing to do with you. You can be as ugly as sin and you got a bunch of money and they'll be gravitating towards you. Why do you think that's going out to Harvey Weinstein? They thought he had plenty of moolah. Then he took advantage of him when he got him along, him and that other thing. Him and that other, his accomplice, his mistress. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you'll just have to go look it up. She was famous. A famous black lady. His accomplice. She's the one who got most of his girls for him. Yes, she's free and he's in prison. His mistress. According to the InfoWars, they molested him to get her. Indeed, back when the Obama phone was going on, I pay it real less now. I was paying $75 a month for my phone service. AT&T, and then they went up to $112. And then when they went up to $112, and it's going to go up even more after that. We went out and looked for something else. That's when we got on Cricket, which is just AT&T. Cricket is just AT&T. The same service, it's cheaper. I get it for $50. I wouldn't take it no free Obama. My phone's has been the expense right now. Lord, there ain't no way I'd ever buy a $1,000 iPhone. You know how many phones I broke last year? And they're all here, laying here right here in this floor over here somewhere. Cracked screens. Even a Samsung. Of course, I wouldn't be able to use it now anyway. It was phased out. Indeed, I tried to go back to it for a little bit since I tore up another phone. When I put my card in there, they told me this phone has been closed out and it shut my card off. It was $110. It was a more expensive one I bought. After that, I just went back to the cheap ones. I dropped 6 freaking phones last year, 2 the year before. So let me see how many phones that was that I completely destroyed. Some of them I completely. Those I first dropped, I dropped them outside on the concrete. They just shattered. So technically I broke 6 last year, but I had 2 the year before I broke. So that was 6, 7, 8 phones. I had to completely throw them things away. They just cracked all to pieces. And on these phones I did have, I contacted the company and was going to get them repaired. They was going to charge me to fix the freaking screen. So I thought, well, I just might as well go. They're cheap anyway. I might as well go buy a cheap phone. It might cost me more to fix the screen. So I broke. Actually, I've been basically lying because I broke 8 phones, but I broke 2 phones the year before, dropping them. I don't like those new. You know, they got these screen protectors. I don't like those things. I find they just toughed it and put it on it. In the old days, they were like rubber and like plastic. When they were like that, I was fine with them. Now they're these old hard things. I can't get my headphone jacks down in them. I'm smelling something from outside. I guess I'm tired of this damn Doe City. It's so nasty and polluted. Noisy as a F-U-C-K. It's the worst place to live. And they're trying to get people to come here, Peter. I'm gonna tell you, if you're thinking about moving to the south, stay away from this pig. This pig. It's a dirty place. I bet it's as bad as China. You know how they say how China is? I bet it's as filthy as China. And back in the early 2000s, they did a study. A lot of people in this area died of cancer. It was in the air, y'all. That was the early 2000s. That's what you need to know before you move here. Number 2. Let's go see if all those videos move. So I'm gonna take me a break. I need a break. I don't need to push myself. I'll be back on the Series S. I'm trying to play them both. I like them both. I tell you, between the two of them, the Sony's probably becoming my favorite because I like the controller better. I hate that Xbox controller.